Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to continue on with my world of astrology. And where I want to go with this one was back to my center over on Lover's Lane. And my center at this point in time was probably called the Dallas Metaphysical Center. This was before I got into the Vedic sidereal astrology, and I renamed it the Galactic Center. I don't know, maybe it was by the time it was the Galactic Center, but I hosted all sorts of classes there. I had psychics, I had astrologers, and I also had, oh, you're going to love this, I also used to have this class called the Course in Miracles. And Kay Hunter would come and host the Course in Miracles class. She was an amazing, beautiful woman. She had a church, and it was the Science of Mind, but she was just an amazing teacher, and she was just hilarious, but so real. Anyway, I'm just giving you an idea of some of the classes. And I used to have also, John Capello was the psychic. He would do the healing circle, where he would come in and he would make the room completely dark. I mean, even to the point where he put aluminum foil on all the windows, so that this room would be so dark. And he would walk around the room, we'd all be in a circle, and he would say, is there a Martha? And somebody would go, that's my aunt. And he would proceed, did Martha smoke Lucky Strike cigarettes and eat fried chicken? He would just go into all these details, and it was so funny because he would tell me afterwards he would have to smell all these smells, like the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the cigarette smoke. And he said even they would show him how they died, and he would have to feel a pain in his heart if it was a heart attack, or a pain in the, wherever, head, if they had a brain tumor or something, whatever. He said, Joni, this is really tough work because I have to go through all the pain and the feelings and the smells and everything to give these messages. It was kind of like, the way John Edwards does, on television. It was the same thing. He did this. And I got to tell you, John Capello, he was amazing back then. My father had just died, and we're sitting in the circle, and he goes, somebody's saying Dolly. And that was the nickname my dad always called my mother, Dolly. He says, someone's calling Dolly. And he said to my mother, goes, oh my God, that message is for me. Because my husband, who just passed away, used to always call me Dolly. And he says, well, he has something he wants to tell you. And he said, I'm not cold anymore. Oh, we knew it was him. That's all he said towards the end of his life. I'm cold, I'm so cold. And then all of a sudden he said, I'm not cold anymore. That was the message that we got to know it was him. And of course, then John would give the feelings of love and sentiment and appreciation and all the things and somewhat of what the other side is like. So we had this healing circle every week at the center. It filled up. It was a great circle. We always got amazing, amazing messages. Yes, so beautiful. And from my story about Lynn would visit in the healing circle on and off quite a bit too. That was just amazing. She would say something about, in the healing circle, remember the doilies I used to always put on the table when I would serve the appetizers when you came to my house? She always used these little white doilies. How specific is that? I mean, the spirit world is real. But the whole purpose of this story that I'm telling you is to tell you I had this class where I had all of these magazines that I had acquired from Half Price Books. Boxes and boxes of old magazines, and a lot of them were National Geographic, just everything. Because this class was for us to all sit together and look through the magazines and pick pictures in the magazines that we felt like had symbolism that could give a message. Because, oh, I forgot to tell you this, one of my psychic friends, such a sweet woman, I don't know what happened to her, but her name was Linda Sprague. Oh my God, Linda, if you're still around, get with me. I'd love to talk with you. So she lived here in Dallas, and she was a therapist, and she was a psychic, and she was a healer. But she was a professional therapist too. And she had these cards that she created that were her own tarot cards that she got from pictures in magazines. And what she did was she got a card, like a tarot card of sorts, saying, I don't know if it was a tarot card, and she pasted these pictures from magazines onto these cards, and then, you know, put plastic over them. What do you call that? Like, you know, like plastic that dries, you know, so that it was sealed. So she made her own tarot cards with these images from pictures in magazines. And I thought, you know, what if the picture's this big and one of them's this big or that big or this big? How do you get them all into these cards like that? Because I wanted to make my own cards. So I came up with, as a matter of fact, one of my friends, her name was Mary too, she said, why don't you get a big binder? And why don't you put the pictures, because I had chosen pictures. I was telling her I was going to make the cards like Linda did. She says, no, get a binder. And I thought, yeah, and I'll get those plastic pieces of paper. Let me show you how it's done. Okay. And you get these that go in a binder, these plastic clear sleeves, and I put a piece of white paper in it. And once I found all the pictures that I liked, then I would put one in the front and one in the back. So then I put all my pictures together in this binder. Just like this, see? And so there's a picture on the front and there's a picture on the back. And so I went through, and keeping in mind that I wanted pictures that depicted all different phases of our life, such as dying, such as birth, such as marriage, such as falling in love, such as one that represents talent, gifts, accidents, everything that could happen in life. And while I was looking through the magazines, a lot of them appeared that actually did have the symbolic messages of certain things. I mean, some of these pictures are so symbolic that it's uncanny. So anyway, I put together all of these pictures in this, and it actually became, I have about 350 pictures in this book. So as you can see, there's about 350 pages. I used to use it in my readings sometimes with my clients that I knew really well. Because what happened was we would ask a question and open the book, and whatever picture that you looked at first, that was part of the message that you need to get from your question. And it would have people open it 4 times, and it would tell a story from each picture. Now, because it opens in the middle and there's a picture on both sides, you have to kind of go with the picture you looked at first. That's the one. Now, I actually use this book today in my Patreon class. And what I do is I open it and I go, okay, it's going to be this side. And then I pull a page, and it's the picture on the front and the back that I use. And I do it twice. So we have 4 pictures. But going back to my center, I had a class there where I had all these boxes of these magazines. And I was going to have a class to teach people how to make their own book. 2 people showed up. That was back in the day. That's why I think it was back in the Dallas Metaphysical Center days. 2 people showed up and it never took off. Nobody got it. I don't know anybody that created a book. I wanted other people to experience this, but I created this book over 30 years ago and I still use it today. And I'll never forget my mother, the night before she had a massive stroke, opened up, I wish I could find that picture in here, but it's a tombstone with rose petals all around it. And she got mad at me, my mother, you know, typical. Why do you choose such negative pictures? That's what she said. And I'm like, well, I was trying to get, I have positive pictures. I was trying, well, she had a stroke the next day. The book was trying to tell us. She didn't die. She almost did. The doctor said she wouldn't live through the night, but she did survive. And that's another thing I want to talk about. The will to live is sometimes stronger and we can overcome death. I am a firm believer in that. But just to give you an idea, I have pictures of explosions, just things of so many different things. Here, I'm going to give you an idea and show you some of them. For example, here is a picture of a light bulb exploding. Now that can mean many things to many people, but to me it's an idea. You know, an idea that's exploding. And just I'm picking any of them. Here is like hot air balloons rising to the occasion, which means you will be rising. On the other side, it's people getting their outfits on and, you know, like with disease in hospitals. So what does that mean? Very symbolic. Here is a tumbleweed, which can represent being alone, a loner, all by yourself. Pictures of love and romance. I have one page with wedding rings, which would mean I actually pulled it and a girl was getting married. This book is so real. This one, digging up skeletons from the past. And this one, we actually pulled these 2 today. To give you an idea, I'll give you an idea of what we do in our Patreon class because it's phenomenal. I pulled these 2 pictures from this book today, and here it is. We have the world with the sun rising over it. And if you'll notice, it's North America, it's Canada and the United States. The sun is either rising or setting, but it's like something about the world. And I think it deals with a rebirth. Here on this page, I got a man with a fly on his face and flies on his apron there. But what this can symbolize to me is something that's very bothersome, something that is annoying, something that is going to be annoying. Then we got this, which is, I can't see, the light is reflecting off of it, but right there. It is a man excavating a skeleton deep down. So that can mean digging up old skeletons, old, you know, bringing the truth out, but digging up things from the past. And this was the picture that we left with. And that is an old wise man with a baby, lovingly kissing it. And that represents a new birth with the old. The old is transforming into the new. And so that is a beautiful image of the father, the grandfather, generations that have come to heal. So putting it all together, the planet Earth, something very annoying is going on right now. And we are uncovering the old, the distant old skeletons that have to be dug up. The truth needs to be revealed, but it will bring a healing of the past to a new generation and heal the future generations of what's coming right now. You see how this book that I created over 30 years ago, I still use it today. And I just think it's the most beautiful way to, it's much deeper and profound than a tarot card because it deals with more modern symbols of today. And this was one of my creations I wanted to share with you, that I used to use it at the center. I created this way back when I had my center on Lover's Lane. And I call it, this is the cover, Answers. I call this book Answers. And you can make your own book. And it's very healing to sit there and go through the magazines and see the symbols and what pictures you want to use in terms of symbols. I'll never forget, one time a friend of mine opened the book and it's a baseball that broke a window and there's all this broken glass. She went on a ski trip and had one of the worst ski accidents and broke her leg. That was right before she went on this trip. This book is that powerful. So sometimes when I really, really need some answers, I'll sit down with this book, I'll ask the question and open it. And open it a series of 4 times, get 4 answers. I could just pick a page like I do for the class and read the front and the back. However you want to do it, just have an outline pattern of how you do it all the time. And you will get your messages from the divine through this book of answers. You can call it Answers. I want to share this incredible tool that I created. I've never sold this book in any capacity. It's just I use it as a tool to help myself and others. And now I'm using it in the Patreon class. And not to give a little plug for Patreon, but this is what we do. It is an amazing class. I love my group at Patreon. We've gotten to be really kindred souls through that class. So check it out. My Patreon's on my website. You can see what it's all about if you're interested. But that's not why I did this video. I did this video so you could make your own book and get your own answers. Thank you.